The time is now 6 p.m. Our regular City Council meeting for November 9th, 2021 is now in session. Councilmember Scagliola would lead us with the opening prayer and the pledges of allegiance to the flags of the United States and the state of Texas. Please rise.
Dear Lord and Heavenly Father, we ask for your blessing on those who gather in your name. The philosopher Aristotle claimed the purpose of governance is to promote the common good and address the needs of the community. Now, Aristotle provided a clear understanding of what needs to be done. And Lord, as we conduct the business of the city, we seek your continued guidance on how to accomplish the task. Lord, grant us the clarity of mind needed to recognize the common good and the insights required to address and satisfy our needs. Let us remain mindful of your grace, wisdom, and holy word as we endeavor to build a stronger community and a brighter future that will shine as a testament to your glory. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Councilman Scagliola. All right, we have a presentation. Love Where You Live. Mr. Wilbert, Ms. Wood, and Ms. Vera, they have a presentation regarding the Love Where You Live event.
We do, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. All right, Mr. Mayor. Well, first of all, thank you for coming out on October 23rd and showing up and just saying thank you for what we did. We've got a briefing here to talk a little bit about what we did on the 23rd of October out in the Northcliffe neighborhood. For the council members, I did leave a little pamphlet on there about what Love Where You Live is, and some of that will be up on the slides. My name's Eric Wilbur. We're a nonprofit, all volunteers. I happen to be one of the board members, chairman this year, and it was our honor to go up and help the city in the Northcliffe neighborhood. So, just quick history, because not everybody's familiar with Love Where You Live. We started in 2016 as a collaborative effort between the city and several churches to create a nonprofit that would help neighborhoods, help our neighbors, do cleanup events. Since 2016, we've done 12 events. We've impacted 325 homeowners in their homes, helped them with various things, and we'll show some pictures, but yard work, tree trimming, and repair of some plumbing repairs, electrical repairs, roof repairs. We've been in those neighborhoods. Aviation Heights been one, as a frequent flyer, we call them. We've been in Northcliffe a couple times, but we've also been in Mobile Villa, Heritage, and Pecan Grove, as well as a couple others. And we do individual projects as well. So what's our vision? Vision is to inspire that collaborative effort between cities and nonprofits, churches, schools, to help our neighborhoods get better. Especially some of our older neighborhoods need work. They need help. These are homeowners that have lived in these homes for 30, 40, some 50 years. And sometimes they get a little behind. And so we're there to help them and help them do that. We use our principle basically lies in Scripture. Happens to come out of Matthew, love your neighbor. So that's what we're about, is helping those neighbors that need it. We focus a lot of effort on elderly, widows, disabled, veterans. That's kind of, our sweet spot, I'll call it. But we'll help anybody. We're not, if somebody else comes and needs some help, then we're going to be there for our neighbors. It is to obviously bring our neighborhoods up in status and look and try to create a little bit of an environment of helping people. And so we want to leave neighborhoods where now neighbors are helping themselves as well and helping the neighbor next to them. And we want to be a resource to local governments such as the city of Schertz, other nonprofits. When they find that somebody's in need, we're there to help with their homes. So why? Why does Love Where You Live exist? Well, first of all, citywide or neighborhood needs are often overlooked. And so that's why we go into whole neighborhoods. Many of the people that we help remain silent. They don't want to ask for help. So we're going to offer a helping hand to them. Cities aren't necessarily resourced to help people in the way we do. And then churches and other nonprofits can't help them by themselves. It really has to be a collaborative effort. And so that's why Love Where You Live exists today. So what do we do at Northcliffe? Well, this project, this event is one of our semi-annual events. We helped 34 homeowners in Northcliffe and a couple other neighborhoods. We had a couple projects that got identified. We had 224 volunteers show up. That is a record number of volunteers. And we got them all over the place, from the American Heritage girls to Trail Life, and several churches engaged. GVEC sent out some volunteers as well. So they came across many different organizations. And this is, we don't do it without volunteers. So we rely on those volunteers to the work. So what'd they do? This is kind of a beginning. We do an initial brief to everybody, safety brief, bring people in. This is just some photos of some of the volunteers that showed up. And 8 o'clock in the morning. I got some before and after. So this particular home on my left, as you can see, is a little bit slightly overgrown. And we were able to take care of that. This is another home in the Northcliffe area. Again, just overgrown stuff. We had some trees and bushes going into the soffit, damaging the soffit, and so you can see on the right kind of an end product there. I think I've got a picture too later on about some of the soffit repairs there we did there. Another picture, we do a lot of tree trimming. I've got some pictures here coming up. This is another home that's in Northcliffe. Had an old unsafe structure on the backside that we removed, and just again, clean up of that area. There you can see, again, a before and an after. This is how we get things moved. This time around we had a grapple truck from Republic Services, and I'll just say Republic Services is one of our key sponsors. They brought a grapple truck out. You see that on the top left. And then we've got the little guy up there with the little cart. He carried some stuff too out to the street. And then we have trailers that bring things to the dumpsters too that Republic has. This is one of the projects we did at that house that had some soffit damage, and so we replaced some soffit, painted that for that homeowner. And then this is, again, just some aftermath. This is a home that was very overgrown in the backyard, as you can see what we pulled out. And again, what happens is some of these homeowners get behind. What we try to do is catch them up and help them. And so some pictures there. Some great testimonies. I mean, I can give you hundreds of them. I mean, I personally like, the one that, says, hey, this is a game changer in my life. This is a miracle to me. These are people. These are people living in your city. And they need help. So we're there to help them. But I'm just telling you right now, we could not do it without the city of Schertz right there alongside us. And Mark Brown and his team are incredible. And the care that they have for their occupants is just, I'm just telling you, I see it no place else. Lived all over the world. I've not seen it. So your city manager, all the way down through his staff, love these people. And so we're just helping them take care of your residents. And it's just an honor. I do want to recognize some of our sponsors. We obviously recognize the city of Schertz, but Republic Services, key. We did get a donation from GVEC this time that paid for the entire event that we had. And you can see a few of the other ones up there, but our sponsors are critical to us as well to help us do these projects. This is some contact information if anybody wants any information on Love Where You Live. As I said, I handed out a trifold to each one of the council members. You can reach out to us. We are volunteers, so I can't tell you we'll respond right away, but we will get back to you as soon as we can. And with that, Mr. Mayor, I'll open it up for any questions or any other comments you might have.
No, thank you, Mr. Wilbert, and thank you to all the volunteers that actually went out there and participated, and your efforts to the neighborhood and to those individuals that you touched will be a lasting memory for them too. You know, and one other thing, you don't need a skill, right? You don't need a skill to be out there to help.
No, no. Yeah. If I can say something along those lines, we do get a lot of people that do just come out and go visit with people. Now, some of the churches come out and they'll pray with people, right? But just go visit with somebody, a widow who's been alone for many years, she may not have a lot of other conversations that week or that month. And so some people just come out and visit. And that, to me, can be more powerful than trimming her tree or doing her garden.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, a helping hand is what it's all about. And any idea when your next one is? I know you have one in the spring.
Yeah, we're looking at that right now. We're going to try to coordinate that with the city cleanup event.
Okay.
And see if we can work. I had tentatively put down, I think, early April, but we'll figure that out in a collaborative effort with the city staff, Rebecca and her team. And as well, some people ask, you know, how do we pick a neighborhood? We work very closely with the city staff to find a neighborhood that's in need. And then we go to that neighborhood.
Thank you so much. Council, any questions? If we can just have a reminder before the next one so we can we need more than just 224 next time.
Let's break the record.
Let's break the record. Thanks again. Thank you so much.
Mr. Mayor.
We'll move on to employee recognitions. Our city manager, Dr. Brown, will be presenting individuals with their service pin, Mr. John Eisen and Mr. Mark Bain, Chief Bain.
Well, Council, it's always a great privilege for me to be able to come before you and present our long-term service award winners, and we have two tonight, John Eisen and Mark Bain, who have truly distinguished themselves in their service to the city of Schertz. So, John, would you come up here first, please? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service. So just a little bit about John's background. He was hired on as a reserve officer in March 1996, and that was after serving 3 years in the 82nd Airborne Division. So anyone that knows anything about the U.S. Army knows that that's an elite unit. And he was accepted full-time for the city of Schertz in July of 1996. He was involved in creating the physical agility testing for the police department and also helped create the bicycle patrol unit. He received 2 life-saving awards, the Chief's Award, and Supervisor of the Year twice. He's earned the Master Police Officer certification and currently is the day shift patrol sergeant. So With our 25-year award winners, we see a lot of achievements, and that's true in the life and the career of John Eisen. He was born at Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio, Texas. He graduated from Judson High School and went straight into the military and spent 4 years in the Army. He got out, attended San Antonio College, and then went through the San Antonio College Peace Officers course to become a licensed peace officer. He's currently married to Alicia Cepeda. Alicia is here tonight with us. Hello, Alicia. She works in our communications division in the police department. They've been together for 20 years. Currently reside in Seguin, Texas. They have a 15-year-old son, Dylan, 2 adult stepdaughters, both of whom are alumni of TLU in Seguin. And of course, John loves spending time with family, attending numerous sporting events with his son, being outdoors, working out, barbecuing, and being with friends when time permits. So John Eisen's a well-rounded person. I had the opportunity to go out on patrol with John. It took me out. It was very educational. He's a very, very professional police officer, and we are certainly very fortunate to have him. So John, it's my privilege to be able to award you your 25-year service.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Wait, we get our picture. Oh. Then you get to give a speech.
All right. I don't have much of a...
Good, Alicia? Okay. All right, over to you.
Well, thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure. It's gone by a lot quicker than I ever expected to. Hopefully, I'll be here for at least another 4 or 5. And I really don't have a whole lot to say other than the city's been good to me, and I've loved my job up to this point so far. So thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Thank you, John. 25 years. You've seen our city grow so much, and all the years of service that you provided to our city. We thank you for that.
All right, Mark, your turn. So our next 25-year award winner is Interim Chief Mark Bain. I didn't know this about Mark, but he started as a volunteer firefighter for the city of Schertz in 1992, and he was Volunteer Firefighter of the Year in 1994. So I don't know if you went over to the dark side or you went over to the good side or...
Found the light.
Found the light, there you go. He graduated from the police academy at 20 years of age, somehow snuck in and graduated underage, he says, and his mother had to buy his gun for him. And she's right there. He spent 2 years with the Bexar County Sheriff's Office before coming to Schertz, and he was the Sheriff's Academy Cadet Class President. He started with the Schertz Police Department October 15th, 1996. He says he applied 3 times before being hired. He's held a lot of positions, of course. He's started out as a patrol officer, detective, patrol sergeant, detective sergeant, investigations lieutenant, captain, assistant chief of police, and now interim chief of police. So he's advanced up the chain of command over his 25-year career. Born in San Antonio, raised in Kirby, as is John. He's a graduate of Judson High School. I didn't know this either. He owned and operated an emergency vehicle outfitting business that operated nationally and was based in Schertz, and he's a member of the Schertz Business Association and a founding member of the Schertz Chamber of Commerce, so that's cool. He's got many achievements here with the department, including creation of the K-9 and School Resource Program. He's worked extensively with Animal Services, so ever since I've been here, Mark has sort of shouldered the load in Animal Services, made a lot of changes, a lot of positive impact there, and we've seen a lot of good things that have gone on in our Animal Services department. Says it's been one of his favorite assignments. And currently, he's working on the Best Practices Recognition Program for the police department. Mark's hobby, many of you probably know this, but he builds and races vintage race cars, and he's raced all over Texas. And you're a drag racer, right? You're not just any kind of racer. You're a drag racer. So Very good. So I know his family's here. Mark, could you introduce your family to us?
Dixie and my son James.
We're very glad to have the family with him tonight. So Mark, thank you for your outstanding service to our city. It's really a privilege to be able to award you your 25-year service pin.
Thank you.
We look forward to many more years with you. So, congratulations. We'll take the picture.
You do pictures first?
Picture first, then gotta get this straight. All right, over to you.
You know, like John said, it's hard to believe it's been 25 years. You know, I was a kid when I started with the city. And, you know, the city's been very good to me over the years. I'm very thankful for the opportunities that the city's provided for myself and my family. But very thankful for everybody I work with. That's what keeps me coming back every day. So thank you all.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you for your years of service. Thank you guys for, safety is the most important thing for any community, and 25 years, 50 years combined. Thank you once again. We'll move on to new employees. Animal Services.
Mariah
Here?
can make it tonight.
Okay. All right, Civic Center.
Not
here?
tonight, he's going to be introduced on the 7th. I apologize.
Okay, Engineering? All right.
Good evening, Council, Dr. Brown, Kathy Woodley, Engineering. I am very pleased to introduce this evening Travis Westbrook, our newest graduate engineer. He is originally from San Angelo, Texas. He was in the Marines, and I think, it's really great with the coming holiday in the next few days to thank all the folks that have served. Travis served deployments in Japan and Afghanistan. I was kind of getting chills when he was explaining what he did in Afghanistan. Some pretty heavy-duty stuff over there. He spent some time at Angelo State University, took some math and physics, but that wasn't enough, so he had to move to Schertz to go to UTSA to get an engineering degree. He has worked a variety of jobs, but predominantly worked for a private engineering firm, so he brings that perspective to our department, which is great. He's married to Katie, and they have Elliot, who's 7, and a daughter, Charlie, who's 3. He enjoys volunteering, variety of volunteer activities, but I remember he did tell me during his interview something that really made a big impact was that he's really excited to serve the community where he lives. And he lives here in Schertz. He's looking forward to getting even more involved now that he'll be able to work locally and do some volunteer as well as serving the community through work. Something that he's looking forward to starts this evening after the meeting. He's going to join his son taking jiu-jitsu lessons. So maybe be careful around him coming up. But with that, Travis, welcome.
Just want to say thank you guys for having me tonight.
Well, welcome to our team. Next, we have Neighborhood Services.
Good evening. I'd like to introduce our sanitarian, Amanda Cantu. Amanda comes to us as a born and raised in San Antonio, and she graduated from St. Mary's University with her bachelor's degree in biology. She's been a professional registered sanitarian for 6 years, much of that with the city of San Antonio. She's been married for 4 years, and she has a 1-year-old daughter named Dylan. And an interesting fact about Amanda, she has never broken a bone. Welcome.
I just want to say thank you for having me, and I look forward to continuing my career here at the public service here in Schertz.
Well, welcome to our team. And next we have Public Works.
Good evening, Scott McClellan, Assistant Director of Public Works. Tonight I have the pleasure of introducing Vanessa DiCiola. So she's our new Administrative Manager in Public Works. She started back on October 12th. She's joining us from our largest suburb, City of San Antonio, where she spent 10 years working there for various departments. So we're excited with the experience that she brings. She's married with 2 older kids, as she described them. And a fun fact about Vanessa, her husband actually works for Public Works in San Antonio, so she feels right at home with all that goes on down in Public Works, and fits right in with all that we've got going on, and has that unique perspective of being married into Public Works as well. So in her free time, Vanessa and her husband own a craft business, making things and selling them, and she said that takes up pretty much all of her free time outside of work. So that's pretty much what she does. When I asked her what she liked so far about the city of Schertz, she said she likes the small town feel of it. So coming from the city of San Antonio, a little change, but she's enjoying it so far. Fun fact about both of us, neither of us have broken a bone ever, so with that, Vanessa.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. It's been wonderful.
Well, welcome to our team.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Dr. Brown. I'd like to introduce to you guys Adrian Puentes. He is our new Fleet Crew Supervisor. Adrian actually started off at an interesting time with us because currently Fleet is moving into our new facility. So a bunch of challenges and obstacles that are coming through. You know, Adrian has been a big help with that. Adrian, he lives in the Schertz-Cibolo area. He's a graduate of Portland High School, and is that Gregory, Texas? Or? Portland, Texas. Oh, Portland, Texas. Adrian spent about 8.5 years in the Army. He is married with 5 kids. His hobbies include working out and playing the acoustic guitar. Adrian, in his spare time, he just likes to spend time with his family. You know, any interesting fact about Adrian that I learned was going through his resume. We were actually in the same place at the same time when I was in the military. He was in Germany, same time I was in Germany, and also he was a generator mechanic and I was a generator mechanic. So, you know, it kind of, when I was going through his resume, I was like, man, it's perfect. But I'd like to introduce to you guys, this is Adrian Puentes, our new Fleet Crew Supervisor. Adrian, the mic's all yours.
Just want to thank you all for this opportunity, and hopefully with the knowledge that I can bring, try to smooth out anything that you guys would need for Fleet and across the board. So thank you.
Welcome to our team. We'll move on to announcements of upcoming events. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mayor, Council, Steve Mayfield, Water Wastewater Manager. I would like to introduce to you all tonight George Guzman. Just a few things I'd like to let you know about him is he does enjoy working with his hands. In fact, it's one of the things he likes most about working with the city, being able to work with his hands. He also enjoys playing with his dog Kira, playing video games, and watching football, especially when the Dallas Cowboys are playing. He would really enjoy to one day be able to take a vacation and travel to Japan. So far, he has been learning the day-to-day ins and outs of the water and wastewater department, which as everybody knows, is never a dull moment. Would you like to say anything?
I'll just say thank you for taking me on board, and hopefully, serve a lot here at the city of Schertz.
Well, welcome to our team. All right, then next is announcements of upcoming events. Ms. Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor, and everybody bear with me because we have a very long list of announcements tonight, and I got designated to read them. So starting off on Thursday, November 11th, it's going to be the Veterans Day ceremony at 9 a.m. over at our Schertz Veterans Memorial Plaza, so I hope everyone can come out and join us for that. On, again, Thursday, November 11th, and Friday, November 12th, city offices will be closed for the Veterans Day holiday. On Friday, November 12th, is going to be the Hal Baldwin Scholarship Golf Tournament, and that will begin at 8 a.m., and it will be at the Olympia Hills Golf Course and Conference Center. If you look on our website, I believe we have information if you're interested in signing up to play. On Saturday, November 13th, is going to be the Nature Discovery Series, Discover Early Texans at 10 a.m. at Crescent Bend Nature Park. On Monday, November 15th, will be a special council meeting to canvass the election results. That will be 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. City offices will be closed Thursday, November 25th, and Friday, November 26th for the Thanksgiving holiday. We will start our holiday festivities Thursday, December 2nd. It'll be the Deck the City Hall, the tree lighting ceremony. It'll be in front of Building 1, which is City Hall, at 6 p.m. On Saturday, December 4th, Holidazzle is back, and that's going to go from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. here in the Hal Baldwin Municipal Complex. Some of the event elements will be breakfast with Santa with different sessions at 8 a.m., 9:30 a.m., 11 a.m. Those will be by ticket purchase only. They're $10. Registration is required. You can contact Parks and Rec at 619-1850 for more information. There's going to be the Kris Kringle Market from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., Holiday Hoopla featuring the ever-popular Mount Schertz Snow Hill and Snow Angel Play Area. And then we'll end the evening with the Festival of Angels Lighted Night Parade. $15 fee for businesses to participate. And you can register through Civic Rec, or if you have any questions, to call our Parks and Recs department. And then finally, the last item on here is Tuesday, December 7th. That's when we'll be back here for the next regularly scheduled council meeting at 6 p.m. That is all. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. Next, announcements or recognitions by our city manager, Dr. Brown.
I have one recognition tonight. Brian, could you put the slide up? There we go. So I just wanted to make note that the mayor and I and our EMS crews got to participate in a photo shoot yesterday at Randolph Air Force Base, recognizing the new contract between Randolph and Schertz for EMS service. So it was a very nice ceremony. They brought out two jet airplane T-38s for us and had a nice photograph session. So we look forward to a long association with the base out there. It's an outstanding opportunity. I want to thank Sarah Gonzalez for setting up this ceremony, and most of all to Jason Mabbitt for all the work that he did on this contract. And we'll set up a time to recognize Jason here next month for all of his work on this. So it was a great opportunity, so thanks.
All right, thank you, Dr. Brown. Announcements and recognitions by the mayor, I have none. So we'll move on to the hearing the residents. This time is set aside for any person who wishes to address the city council. Each person is limited to 3 minutes, and we ask before addressing the council, for the record, please state your name and address. Mayor Pro Tem Dollar, please call our first speaker.
First speaker this evening is Maggie Titterington.
Good evening, Council. I wanted to give you a brief recap and a thank you for helping us with the success of our 4th annual Skylight Balloon Festival. Naming sponsor Remax, of course, came through with flying colors with skydivers and balloons, and we had a really good Thursday night and Friday night, and of course, we had a little bit of cloud cover and a little bit of a wind situation on a Saturday, but happy to say we did get the mayor up in a balloon about 50 feet off the ground, and along with the mayors of Selma and Cibolo. But it was a great successful weekend, and we had 15,361 people from around surrounding areas, plus traveling from Houston, Victoria, and I believe somebody from Corpus Christi as well. So it was very successful. We're already in the works of planning the next one. Next Tuesday is our last chamber luncheon of the year, and it is our membership appreciation and award ceremony. We have several businesses around the area that are nominated and can't wait to reveal who the winners are, and that is next Tuesday. Again, if you did not RSVP today, today's the last day, so you can probably squeeze one in before midnight. As Ms. Gonzalez said, we are helping the City of Schertz, partnering up with our Military Affairs Committee to host the Veterans Plaza ceremony for honoring our veterans. It's at 9 a.m. and there will be a light refreshments of coffee and donuts served afterwards at the Knights of Columbus. They're partnering with us on that as well. And Brigadier General Brad Webb is going to be the keynote speaker, and we will also have an appearance by Senator Campbell and Representative Kemple to assist us. It is not too early. We are already accepting registrations for our Health and Wholeness Fair, which again, we partner with the City of Schertz on. That is January 29th, already in 2022. I can't believe we're already planning stuff for that. It's 10 to 1, free to the public. We will have workshops. We will have health screenings. We're working with the City of Schertz to do free flu shots, and more information is forthcoming through our website, which is thechamber.com, or .info, sorry, thechamber.info. And that is all I have. Thank you so much.
All right, next up we have Judy Goldick.
Good evening, Council. Thank you for giving me the opportunity just to voice a concern I have. I'm Judy Goldick, 807 Main. I operate a few businesses on Main Street, and it has come to our attention as of recently that there are quite a few cars parked along Main Street. We are investing a lot of money in the community. We'll be opening our 6th business at the end of the year, and the parking has just become an issue, but the parking on the street is just not what we'd want to see on Main Street with the revitalization. I've noticed the same vehicles being moved from place to place. It obstructs the view as we're leaving the parking lot there. And I have a tenant at 807 Main who operates in the evening, and there's no street parking available there for the parents who are there to pick up their children from dance class. So they're parking at 816 and having to walk those children across the street. So it is a concern, and we really want to see Main Street become a place where the residents of the community can come out and enjoy what we have to offer down there. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. If you have the opportunity to drive down there in the afternoon or in the evening, on the weekends, it's 40 or 50 cars is what it appears to be. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is any other speakers? Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on to consent agenda items. They are considered self-explanatory, and information packets are provided to council and available for public viewing. These items require no separate discussion unless requested by council. Item number 1, approval of the minutes of our regular meeting of October 26, 2021. Item number 2, approval of the resignation of Mr. Bill Bowers of the Transportation Safety Advisory Commission. Approval of the appointment of Mr. Michael Winter as a regular member, and the appointment of Mr. Andres Dominguez and Mr. Paul Wiley as alternate members to the Transportation Safety Advisory Commission. Item number 3, resolution number 21R117, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing a public library interlocal agreement with Guadalupe County, Texas, and other matters in connection therewith. Council, do any of these items need to be pulled for separate action? If not, is there a motion to approve consent agenda items 1 and 3?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Davis, second by Councilmember Hayward for consent agenda items 1, 2, and 3. Any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
We have 7 ayes, no objection, motion passes. We'll move on to item number 4, resolution number 21R123. A resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing and approving publication of notice of the intent to issue a certificate of obligation complying with the requirements contained in the Securities and Exchange Commission Rule number 15C2-12 and providing an effective date. Mr. Walters, floor is yours.
Good evening. My name is James Walters. I'm the Finance Director for the City of Schertz. Tonight we have a notice of intent resolution to issue CO bonds. To issue CO bonds does not require an election or voter approval. It does require a notice to be published so that the citizens can review the contents of the bond and potentially form a petition to block it if they don't believe it falls within the best interest of the city. What we have tonight is about just over $10 million. Half of that is to do work on FM 1518 to move our utilities. It was a planned issuance that we had talked about before. It was calculated into the water and sewer rates that we had approved back in July. We're doing that a little earlier than we had originally forecasted. We have the ability to do that now, and they need the funds sooner rather than later so they can start work on moving the utility lines. The road project can't move until all of the utilities, both ours and everybody else's, are out of the way. So that was the purpose of those. There's just over $1 million for efficiency projects, reduce electric costs for the city. The contractor will guarantee that the savings, annual savings, will pay for the debt service. This should be a zero impact bond issuance. It'll be charged directly to the the operating funds, not the INS. And all the electrical savings will actually pay for this and guaranteed by the contractor. If anything happens that it's not, then the contractor will be paying the overage and the city will still be fully covered. The last portion is to get some funds ready to move on the property at the intersection of FM 3009 and 78. If the city wants to move on that, we need to have the funds available. So that's why that one's moved up from our planned later issuance to now. This is just a notice of intent resolution. This is not buying the city or the city council to actually issue any or all of these funds. Council can't issue more than this, but if one of the projects falls through, council doesn't believe that we need a certain amount of money, those can be lowered at the time of issuance or scrapped altogether. So again, this is just a published notice so we can move forward if council wishes to when we get ready to sell.
Thank you, Mr. Walters. All right, council, floor is open for discussion. No comments. Is there a motion to approve resolution number 21R123?
Move. Second.
We have a motion made by Councilmember Scagliola, second by Councilmember Brown. Any other comments? If none, let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
We have 7 ayes, no objection, motion passes. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 5, ordinance number 21F47. An ordinance by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, amending Chapter 90 of the Code of Ordinances, Article 5, Water and Wastewater Capital Recovery Fees, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance and providing an effective date. This is our first reading. Mr. McClellan, floor is yours.
There we go. All right, good evening. Scott McClellan, Assistant Director of Public Works. So tonight, bringing an ordinance to revise a couple sections of Chapter 90 that we need to modify, that we found as we were going through working with the planning team on the City View implementation. And so there's really two main goals in these minor revisions I've outlined up here on the screen. So the first one is to align the time of assessment the impact fees or the capital recovery fees with CCMA and SSLGC. So the city of Schertz collects on behalf of CCMA and SSLGC. Right now, the way it's written, the city of Schertz charges based on the approval of the final plat. CCMA and SSLGC charge upon the final plat recordation. And so we're proposing to change it so that the city of Schertz capital recovery fees are charged upon final plat recordation, which aligns with CCMA and SSLGC. And so that's not a big shift. It's just an administrative item that's easier for us to track all the same date. The second change was to clarify the assessment for properties platted prior to the first capital recovery fees being established. So as you can see in this section, we're on top of adding in the changes that I just mentioned, we're adding that final sentence on there, noting that for final plats that were recorded prior to the initial capital recovery establishment, that the assessment to those properties would be equal to the initial capital recovery fee. So that's the way it's written right now. It would mean that if someone came in with a property that was platted before the first capital recovery fee, which was established for water back in the 80s, so if a property came in and was platted in the 60s, they would be charged today's current impact fee or capital recovery fee. And so we're shifting that. We think it is, fits better to charge them that first rate instead of the current rate because they platted before the establishment of that initial fee. So those are the changes that we're proposing. So not sure if anybody has any questions or comments or on those changes.
Thank you, Scott. All right, council, floor is open for discussion. Yes, Councilmember Whitaker.
So on the last one, you're saying that whatever the fee was when it was first platted is what they're going to be charged?
Correct. If they were platting before the first capital recovery fee was adopted, so for water was in 1984, so if they're platting before that, they had platted before that 1984, then they would be charged the fee that was established in 1984.
Okay.
As opposed to the 2021 rate.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Councilmember, Mayor Pro Tem Dalla.
Can you just kind of explain the rationale behind that?
So if I guess the thought process was, trying to make it a little bit what we felt was more fair to that property. So if it's a final plat that was recorded back in the 70s, if there was an impact fee at that time, they would have been charged much less rate than today. And so we have the ability to charge them. That it's an impact to the system, but we also don't feel like it's fair to charge them today's rates, which are thousands of dollars more than that initial rate. So this isn't expected to come up too many times, but it's a way that we thought would be a bit more fair and also honestly easier to explain to those folks as well that are coming in with those plats that were recorded so long ago.
All right, thank you.
Councilmember Brown.
Yeah, this is for new construction only, right?
Correct. Yeah, so it would be new construction or I guess it would only be new construction, I believe, or major renovation.
Okay, because kind of going on what Mr. Dolly said, there's, I kind of question giving them a break for 40 years of appreciation, and they're still going to pay 2021 construction costs, and we're going to give them a break on impact fees, and our costs are not 1980 costs, our costs are 2021 costs.
Sure. Public Works, already up here. So let me try to, sometimes when you're not
expecting to have to answer the question. You can kind of listen and think about it. Let me try to walk you through a bit how it happens. So the way state law is worded and our ordinance is based off that. Say we pass an impact fee ordinance and say we're going to charge you $1,000 in water impact fees. We do that in 2000. Somebody comes in and plats in 2001. That caps their maximum assessable fee. So even if they don't build on the lot, they wait, and we go up on the ordinance a couple of times and now say it's $3,000. If they were to come in and pull that permit, that maximum assessable fee would be capped at $1,000. And it kind of makes sense. You come in and plat, you get capped. All seems fairly logical. What doesn't make sense is if you came in and platted before that, you don't get the benefit of that discount. It's like you did it too early, so now you paid a day's fee, and that's what's hard to explain to folks. They see somebody who platted after them getting the lower rate, they platted before. So what this often applies to is in the older parts of town, and it just seems unfair. And so what we kind of said is if you came in and platted before, rather than charge you at a day's rate, we're going to charge you that rate that was in effect when we first created the ordinance. So as Scott said, it doesn't happen a lot. It tends to be the older part of town or where they platted before. And so we think it's more consistent with the way the ordinance is applied for everybody else who platted after that. So it's a little bit less revenue from coming in from the city. But again, if you understand how we create those impact fees and determine that amount, it's not something that we really expected a lot of revenue to come in for. So we think it's more fair and consistent, doesn't penalize you for platting before that first effective date.
Okay.
If that helps.
Got it. Thank you.
Councilmember Davis.
This is only applicable to a final plat that was recorded back in the day.
It's a plat, a final or minor plat that was recorded. If you got a plat approved, but you didn't file it, nope, doesn't cover you. It's just the recordation date. Right. So that's the other change. And again, ours is sort of an anomaly to everybody. I've seen every place else uses that recording date. That's what we track. It's easy to pull. No, but we can't often even figure out when stuff was actually approved.
I guess my question is when you say the recording date.
Yes, sir.
So for example, the project on Wieterstein, was there a plat done back on that area back originally with had the straight?
So that property was platted originally before the ordinance. Now the difference is they are going to replat. So when they come in and replat, that resets that maximum assessable fees. Yeah, so if you come in, had a platted property, but you're doing a replat, that resets it. An amending plat doesn't. So when they come back in, it'll reset their fee.
This just effectively clarifies it for someone that had a final plat that was recorded back.
As a plat that was
just hasn't acted on it.
That's correct. That's correct. And again, if you keep in mind that if you filed it right after the ordinance first went into effect, you're capped at that lower rate. It just provides that benefit for the folks who kind of beat it in.
Councilmember Scott.
I'm glad you asked that. I was thinking in the back of my head, is this like standard operating procedure for the cities around Schertz? Is this unprecedented or is just standard industry? Or what's the deal with that?
As far as setting that rate going back, so I would say it's standard according to state law, like Brian explained, as far as the when you set that rate, you establish that maximum assessable for people that had platted before that. So that is, I don't know if you know of anybody going back. I think that it's yeah, I'm not sure what surrounding cities do as far as.
I was just asking. Right. I was asking because whenever like last council meeting, whenever like the fire trucks and you had the comparison with the other cities, y'all commonly compare it to others, and this is out of my familiarity zone, and so I was wondering, is this standard or is this unique to Schertz? You just think it's good business practice? Trying to get a feeling for it.
Sure, no, cities do it. Well, let me answer the first part, the change to the recordation date. Pretty much every place I've ever seen uses the recordation date, not the plat approval date, because that's what's tracked. I will say a fair number of cities take that, if you beat it in, they'll charge you the oldest rate. Often those cities, what they do as well is while we tend to think, and in our situation, the fees have gone up every time we've updated, they can go down. So as our system gets built out and there's less to build, you'll see those fees come down. A lot of cities will actually say, even if you platted before and you have a higher maximum, they'll actually make you pay the new lower rate. So about half the cities I've seen have done that. So what I would say is it's not uncommon for cities to do this kind of a thing, to effectively not penalize folks when the rate other people who platted after them are paying is lower. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Council, any other questions? Councilmember Brown.
I was just going to make a motion to approve, let me get the right number here. I had it there. Approve ordinance number 21F47.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilmember Brown, second by Councilmember Hayward. Any other comments or questions? Let's call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
We have 7 ayes, no objection, motion passes. Right, we'll move on to item number 6, ordinance number 21T48. An ordinance by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing an adjustment to the fiscal year 2021 and 2022 budget to provide additional funding for the Tri-County Parkway Project construction phase, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance and providing an effective date. This is our first reading. Mr. Perez, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Adrian Puentes, Director of the Schertz Economic Development Corporation. Quick summary of the action tonight. Ordinance 21T48 authorizes a fiscal year 2021 budget adjustment not to exceed $1.24 million for the construction phase of the Tri-County Parkway project. By way of background, the reconstruction of the Tri-County Parkway starts at Corridor Parkway over to 3009 and extends down Lookout over to Dorr. It also includes upsizing the sanitary sewer mains from Dorr Lane along Lookout and to Tri-County. The EDC Board of Directors and City Council previously approved up to $4,050,000 for this project from EDC reserves. The allocation of those dollars are as follows. The engineering costs total about $390,000 to scope the project for the request for bids, resulting in a balance of $3.66 million for construction. Based on the bids that were received, plus an 8% contingency, the total budget required is about $4.9 million. On the 28th, EDC Board Resolution 2021 recommended to City Council approval of $1.24 million in this budget adjustment ordinance 21T48, bringing the total project cost to $5.29 million for the project. Staff recommends approval of the ordinance authorizing this budget adjustment. We also have Kathy Woodley and John Nowak, City Engineers Extraordinaire, to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. Council, questions? Yes, Councilmember Scott.
Yes, is this part of the, an expansion of the road where y'all were like, I believe Schertz expanded by right off of 3009 access in Tri-County? A new road went in there about like 18 months ago or 2 years ago. Is this part of the same thing?
This is not. This is a resurfacing of Tri-County from Corridor Parkway over to 3009. So essentially the same existing road, just a resurfacing of the road that's in pretty dire condition, and the upsizing.
And this would come out of your budget, right?
That's correct, yes, ma'am. This would be an adjustment in addition to the $4 million previously approved from EDC reserves coming over to the general fund.
Good. That would leave you with 15 million, 15.2?
Unencumbered by the end of next fiscal year with the projected sales tax revenues, probably $20 million.
Are you comfortable with
I think we're feeling pretty good.
that? Thank you.
Council, any other comments? Is there a motion to approve ordinance number 21T48?
So, second.
We have a motion made by Councilmember Scott, second by Mayor Pro Tem Dalla. Any other comments? If not, let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Has 7 ayes, no objection, motion passes.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have resolution number 21R120, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, casting votes to elect directors for the Bexar County Appraisal District for the term of 2022 and 2023 term. And Ms. Dennis, you have the
Yes.
floor.
Yes, good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Each year, the counties bring to you the boards that, the appraisal district board directors that have been either nominated or want for re-election. The resolution 21R120 is for the City of Schertz Council to cast our 3 votes. We can cast, all 3 votes for one of the candidates, or you can split the votes among the other ones. I did reach out to the city, and I did hear from UC regarding who they were going to cast their votes for, and they were going to go with Leslie Sunowich. I believe that they had researched that, so that's the information that I got regarding the Bexar County candidate. So it's up to the council to decide who you would like to cast your 3 votes for and approve this resolution.
Thank you, Ms. Dennis. Council, did you get a list of the names that were on there? Okay. As Ms. Dennis noted, the Universal City had cast all 12 of their votes for Leslie Shanovich.
Sinovich.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say it really fast.
Okay. So council, floor is open for discussion. Councilmember Hayward.
I did a little bit of research, and I was looking at Trish DeBerry. She's a county commissioner in Bexar County, and I think she would be a great choice.
Okay, Trish. Okay, and Councilmember Whitaker?
I concur with that. I think she's currently on the board and sitting as a precinct chair. She was the easiest to find information on because she is an elected official already. I liked what she had to say, so I'd be comfortable with giving our votes to her.
All 3 votes?
All 3, yes.
All 3, okay. Council, any other comments?
I concur with them as well.
Okay. It appears that, is there a motion from council to provide all 3 votes to Trish DeBerry?
Mm-hmm.
Moved.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Councilmember Hayward, second by Councilmember Whitaker for Resolution 21R120, 3 votes for Trish DeBerry. Any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
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 7 ayes, no objection. Votes have been casted. Okay, we'll move on to item number 8, resolution number 21R121. A resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, casting votes to elect directors for the Comal County Appraisal District for the year 2022-2023 term. Ms. Dennis?
Yes, Mayor and Council. Again, this is for the Comal County Appraisal District Board. There is several candidates, and the City of Schertz does have 64 votes. I was trying to contact some of the cities. I did hear from Garden Ridge, who they say that they had nominated and cast their votes for Randy Masajic. So that's the only person that I was able to find of the, who they were going to do their votes for. So we do have 64 votes. We can divide it among all of them, or we can cast all 64 for a candidate.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dennis. Okay, council, floor is open for discussion.
Did a little more research, and their pick is fine.
Okay, so is that for
Randy, for Comal County, Randy Message.
all 64 votes?
I have no problem with all 64 votes.
Okay. Council, any other comments? Ms. Hayward, is that a motion to approve Resolution 21R121 and casting all 64 votes for Randy Machex?
Sure.
Okay, do I have a second? Second's been made by Councilmember Brown. Council, any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
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 7 ayes, no objections. Motion's been passed for Resolution 21R121, casting all 64 votes for Randy Machex. Okay. We'll move on to item number 9, resolution number 21R122. A resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, casting votes to elect directors for the Guadalupe County Appraisal District for the 2022-2023 term. All right, Council.
I will say, Mayor and Council, this is for the Guadalupe County Appraisal District. We do have 245 votes that we can cast. We have a couple of candidates. We have been Amador, Darren Dunn, Daryl John, Jim Levines, and Letitia Seaver. I was able to reach out to Selma, and they had told me, and they didn't tell me how many votes they had, but they were going to cast their votes for Mr. Daryl John. I tried to get a hold of Cibolo, but I wasn't able to get any information back. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the council wants to do. There are several candidates. Again, you can divide these votes among all of them, or you can cast the 245 votes for one.
Thank you, Ms. Dennis. All right, Council, floor is open for discussion.
Sorry, we're having our own little.
Well, I finally recognize a couple of names. There's, Daryl John would be one of the obvious choices, and Councilwoman Hayward was talking about Letitia, was it? Yeah. So now we're quibbling as to who should all get what. Apparently, they're both good candidates in our book. So.
Councilmember Whitaker.
How many seats are on? So I know, like for Bexar County, multiple positions. So if we give all our votes to one person, that might guarantee them a seat, but there's other open seats. So I would suggest to at least divide the votes so that we can help multiple candidates. This one, we have a little bit more impact on the choices.
Yeah, Mayor, we're quibbling over here. But I make a motion to award Daryl John 125 votes and 122 Letitia.
I'm comfortable with that. I would like to second that.
Okay. Yes, it's bad math. 120.
120. Doesn't he teach math?
He does teach math.
I don't think he's hearing you. So what is it?
He's on
math
school
correct?
break. He's on school break.
He's on school break, so the math was bad. They didn't add up.
So let's.
125 and 120?
You said 122.
Why would I say that?
I don't know.
It's recorded.
That's what I wrote down.
Okay.
All right. A motion's been made by Councilmember Scagliola to provide Daryl John with 125 and Letitia Seaver with 120 votes. Council, any other comments or consideration?
Well, I was trying, but you weren't listening.
Okay.
I wanted to swap it. 120 for Daryl John, since he already got votes from Selma, and 125 for Letitia.
She is requesting the reversal of the order.
Yes.
I haven't gotten a
I know you haven't gotten a motion, so that's what we were quibbling
Is there a second on Councilmember Scagliola?
Okay, I will. We didn't get a second on my motion, so I'll second.
You did? I'm sorry.
Oh,
you did second it. Would you like to amend your motion?
Yes, please. Let me amend my motion, or simply withdraw it, and we can go with Councilwoman Hayward.
Okay.
Would that make it simpler?
That will make it just as easy. Yes. Motion's been withdrawn.
I motion that we give Letitia Severs 125 votes and Daryl John 120 votes.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion by Councilmember Hayward to provide Letitia Seaver with 125 and Daryl John with 120 votes, second by Councilmember Scagliola. Council, any other comments?
I'm just glad we got it straightened out. We're starting to get the look from Brenda there, so.
Yeah, and our math is correct.
Thank you. I was fixing to go get my calculator.
All right.
Is in the whole.
Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
We have 7 ayes, no objection. Motion passes for Resolution 21R122 with 125 votes for Letitia Seaver and 120 for Darrell John.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have roll call confirmation. Our City Secretary, Brenda Dennis, will provide roll call confirmation for consent agenda items 1, 2, and 3, and discussion items 4 through 9. Ms. Dennis?
Sheila. Good evening. Roll call vote on consent agenda items number 1 through 3. Motion was made by Councilmember Davis, second by Councilmember Hayward. Mayor Pro Tem Dolly, Councilmember Davis, Scott, Whitaker, all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0. Item number 5, Ordinance 21F47, first reading. The motion was made by Councilmember Brown, seconded by Councilmember Hayward. Mayor Pro Tem Dalla, Councilmember Davis, Scott, Whitaker, Scagliola, Hayward, and Brown all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0. Item number 6, Ordinance number 21T48, first reading. The motion was made by Councilmember Scott, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Dalla. Mayor Pro Tem Dalla, Councilmember Davis, Scott, Whitaker, Scagliola, and Hayward and Brown all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0. Item number 7, Resolution 21R-120 for the Bexar County Appraisal District, 3 votes. Motion was made by Councilmember Hayward, seconded by Councilmember Whitaker. Mayor Pro Tem Dalla, Councilmember Davis, Scott, Whitaker, Scagliola, Hayward, and Brown all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0. The motion was to make to have all 3 votes go to candidate Trish DeBerry of that candidate list. Item number 7, Comal County Appraisal District. The city had 64 votes. The motion was made by Councilmember Hayward, second by Councilmember Brown. Mayor Pro Tem Dalla, Councilmember Davis, Scott, Whitaker, Scagliola, Hayward, and Brown all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0. The motion was Councilmember Hayward was to have 64 votes to Mr. Randy Maschek. Item number 9, the Guadalupe County Appraisal, 245 votes for the city of Schertz. Councilmember Hayward, let's see, let me go backward. Yes, Councilmember Hayward, seconded by Councilmember Scagliola. The motion was Councilmember Hayward asked for 125 votes for the candidate Leticia Sever and 120 votes for Darrell John. Again, Councilmember Scagliola seconded. Mayor Pro Tem Dalla, Councilmember Davis, Scott, Whitaker, Scagliola, Hayward, and Brown all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0.
Thank you, Ms. Edmondson. All right. Next, we have a closed session. Our city council will meet in closed session under section 551.071 of the Texas Governmental Code, consultation with our attorney to receive legal advice related to the utility relocation associated with the FM 1518 project. The time is now 7:16. We will reconvene after our discussion. All right, the time is 7:47. We reconvene into our regular session after our discussion and deliberation regarding the closed session in reference to agenda item number 10 in regards to the utility relocation associated with the FM 1518 project. There is no action required, so we'll move along to number 11, monthly updates on our major projects. Information packets were provided to council and available for public viewing at our homepage, schertz.com. Next is requests and announcements. Any other announcements from our city manager, Dr. Brown?
No further announcements.
Okay. Any possible updates or information requested by staff? Okay, council, any possible items you'd like to place on a future agenda item? Yes, Councilmember Scott.
Yes, even though it's after December, I just conferred with the chairman of the committee. Sometime early in the year, I'd like to see the state of Main Street, maybe a 10 or 15-minute presentation, plans, our progress, etc.
Okay. All right. That's on the Main Street project. Just an update, okay? All right. Council members, announcements by council members or events they attended. Mayor Pro Tem Donna?
Just a couple. I attended the opening of the new chamber office over in Selma last week, and then the ribbon cutting for Purple Pig on Main Street. They did a marvelous job there remodeling and renovating that building, and it's great to see that activity down there.
Councilmember Davis?
Nothing tonight, sir.
Councilmember Scott? Councilmember Whitaker?
I attended Coffee with the Chamber, also their grand opening at their Selma location. Lovely establishment. I do like our chamber offices very much, though. Not that there's any competition there. And also the Purple Pig ribbon cutting, they did do a really good job, really try to keep some of the historic nature of the building and family-friendly, family-run business, so they're going to work really hard, and I think it's nice to have a established, they've been running their business for a while now, so it's kind of an established restaurant there opening up on Main Street, so I wish them very much luck.
Councilmember Scagliola?
Yeah, just mention that had a wonderful time at the Lions Club Casino night. Thanks for all those who attended. Schertz Small Business Grant Program, deadline is the 1st of December, and upcoming Baldwin Golf Tournament. Hope to see you all out there. That's all.
Councilmember Hayward?
I'm going to skip saying what I did. I'm just tired and ready to go home.
Can you repeat that? Councilmember Brown?
Ditto.
All right. The time is now 7:51. We stand adjourned.